Hi friends, this is Selvijay here. Welcome to my networking channel. Hope all are doing good. Today let us discuss about the redistribution between RIP and OSPF. So this is an architecture where I connected R1, R2 and R3. So R1 I configured RIP as a routing protocol and R3 I'm going to configure OSPF as a routing protocol. So R2 is a border router which will perform redistribution from one routing protocol into another. So it will perform redistribution from OSPF into RIP and RIP into OSPF. So while redistributing from OSPF into RIP, we'll redistribute a metric what we call it as a seed metric, because the OSPF metric, this RIP will not understand that, right? While redistributing OSPF into RIP, so this metric we call it as a seed metric, because RIP has to understand the OSPF. Similar way, we'll redistribute RIP into OSPF, that metric we call it as a seed metric, right? So that's the thing you have to keep it in mind, and there should be at least one redistribution point for performing redistribution. So now let us go to R1 and R2, R3, and let us configure the routing protocol. So already I defined the directly connected interfaces. So now let us define the routing protocol. So let us configure RIP, and now let us define the networks. So the network only 1.0, right? So let us define it. Network is 192.168.1.0. No auto summary. Similar way, let us go to R3. So R3 I configure the OSPF. I'm going to configure OSPF. So let us go to R3 configuration mode. Let us enable the routing protocol OSPF 100. Then I have to define the network command 192.168. So this network is 2.0, right? So I'm defining the network 192.168.2.0 followed by the wildcard mask followed by area. So area, default area is a backbone area I'm defining. So that's all. So now let us define both the routing protocol and border router. So border router, this is R2 is a border router which is going to perform the redistribution. So I have to configure both the RIP and the OSPF on the border router. After configuration, then I have to perform the redistribution. So let us go to R2, go to the configuration mode, router, RIP, network is 192.168.1.0 and 2.0, no auto summary. So then we'll configure the OSPF also. So router OSPF 100. So the network is 192.168.1.0, wildcard mask followed by area 0. Similar way, network 192.168.2.0. So this is having connecting two interfaces, right? 1.0 network and 2. Network. So that's the reason I'm defining both these networks. And then afterwards, let us save it. So now let us perform the redistribution. Go to the configuration mode. So let us go to router, RIP. I have to redistribute the OSPF route. So I'm going to, in the RIP, I'm going to redistribute the OSPF. So redistribute OSPF followed by the process ID. Then I have to define the metric. So metric, default metric it will take. So 0 to 16 is the default metric. So I can assign any values. So let us assign the value as 5, right? Or we can give it as 3. After that, let us go to configuration mode. So router OSPF 100. Then I have to redistribute RIP, right? So in the OSPF, I'm redistributing RIP routes. So let us go to R2, redistribute RIP, followed by the metric you have to define. So metric is, so default metric we can is a 20 is the default metric when redistributing into OSPF. So I can set it to 30 also. Let us say I'm setting to 30. Then another keyword I have to define the subnet keyword. Okay. So I define everything. So now let us check the routing protocol on both R1 and R3. So let us go to R1, show IP route. So now you can see all the RIP routes and the directly connected interfaces. And also let us check on R3, show IP route, show IP route. So we are seeing the directly connected interfaces and the OSPF route. So another one more thing is pending. Before that, let us ping these directly connected interfaces on from R1 to R3, from R3 to R1, right? So let us check from R1. So ping 192.168.1.1 I'm able to reach, 1.2, and similar way 2.1 and 2.2. So everything able to reach, right? Similar way, let us go to R3 and let us ping. Go to R3. So ping 192.168.1.1, 1.2, 2.1 and 2.2. So one more thing I want to show you. So here I already defined the loopback address 1.1.1, and here I have defined the loopback address 3.3.3. So let us now advertise that loopback address in the network command. Let us go to R1, that is a pending one. I'm going to show that. Go to the configuration mode, router, RIP. So the network address defined as 1.1.0. This is the network I advertise in R1. That is a loopback address, nothing but a loopback address that I'm advertising in RIP network command. Similarly, OSPF I defined the loopback as 3.3.3. So let us go to R3, configuration mode, router, OSPF 100. Network is 3.3.0, 0.0.0.0.2. That's a wildcard mask, right? Area 0. Okay, so now I define the individual networks in both 1.1.1 and 3.3.3. So now let us check it, because the reason I'm telling is this I'm defining as this loopback address I'm redistributing into OSPF. So it will advertise as the external route to the OSPF. So it will show as OE2 in OSPF. And whenever this is R3 advertise the loopback address, whenever this loopback address I'm advertising into RIP, it will advertise as a DEX, not DEX, it will advertise as a external route, right? So let us now check the R3 and R1 routing table. So let us go to R3 routing table and let us do a show IP route. You can see the difference. You are able to see the difference, right? R3. So whenever this R1 loopback address advertised into this routing protocol, it is advertising as OE2, because that is a OE2 is an external route, and you are able to see the metric, right? 30. So that is the metric we have defined. So that metric it will show as a 30, and via this where it is reaching. But default metric you are seeing here, it will take as 20. 20 is the default OSPF metric whenever redistributing, and otherwise it will define for the external route as a 30, right? Because that is the metric I have said. Similarly, let us go to R1 and let us check the routing table. Show IP route. So here you are seeing, right? RIP routes are advertised as 3.0.0. This is the external route. RIP external route. So for RIP, this is the external route, right? 3.3.3. That is the reason here. 3.3.3, 120 is the administrative distance of RIP, right? 120, and this is the hop count, right? 3 is the hop count we have set it. This is the metric we have set. That is the reason showing for the metric as 3. So these are the key points you have to remember while redistributing between RIP and OSPF. So I hope you enjoy this video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe me for more videos. Thank you and have a wonderful day.